Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News, and I have the pleasure to be joined by the Welsh, the British, the Commonwealth, the European lightweight champion, Gavin Gwynne. Gavin, how are you today, mate?
Yeah, all good, but all good. Two good sessions done today, so the rest of the day off is nice to have a chill like with the family.
Definitely, mate, as well. I mean, it's hard to start anywhere else than your massive fight with Cameron Vuong next week, November the 30th. I mean, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, are you in shape and ready? But I don't think there's a time where you're not in shape and ready, Gavin.
No, I had obviously had a couple of weeks off from my last fight, but I'm a consummate professional. I'm always in the gym. I'm always training. I live the life. I eat clean constantly. And that's one of the traits I try and instill in the youngsters in the gym because obviously when I was in Tony Borg's gym, I had Lee Selby instilling that in me. So I'm trying to instill that in the boys and just trying to tell them that they got to live their life. And when an opportunity arises, then you can just snap it up with both hands. Like,
Definitely, mate, as well. But as you brought it up, obviously this is your first fight with your new trainer Gary Lockett as well. Obviously since
yeah,
the loss to Mark Chamberlain. I mean, obviously a long time spent with Tony Borg. But kind of
yeah.
why was it the right choice to team up with Gary now?
It was just that spark was missing. Didn't really want to go to the gym, and I'm never like that. I always want to go and train, and it was just I needed a change. The last two fights I just didn't have that spark in me. Um, didn't really perform the last two fights, so I thought I needed a change, and a change sometimes is good. And the way I've been performing in the gym is anything to go by. Everyone's in for a treat on 30th. Yeah,
Definitely, mate. I'm looking forward to it. Let's jump into the fight. Obviously, I interviewed Cameron
yeah,
after his fight on the Riyadh season prelims, and
yeah.
I for one, I hope he doesn't mind me saying, I was a bit shocked that he mentioned your name, Gavin. Were you just as surprised as I was after when he was calling your name out?
Yeah, obviously he's only young and he's only had six professional fights, but um, you got to give him a lot of praise, like for
For sure.
just taking the fight. Um, a lot of prospects will um go to about 12, 13 and 0 without boxing anyone decent. So it's he just goes to show he's got a lot of balls and a lot of confidence in himself. Yeah.
Definitely, mate, as well. Obviously, kind of you mentioned there, and I agree with you. You got to give him a lot of credit for taking you
Yeah.
in just his seventh fight. But kind of, is there anything kind of that you like about Cameron Vuong going into this fight, or anything that he does particularly well? Obviously, without giving your game plan away too much, Gav.
Yeah, he's a good fighter. He's a good prospect. Obviously, I took this camp as serious as possible. Like it's a world title, like any other fight. He's a really good fighter. He got good footwork. He's got good hand speed. He's got good ring IQ. He's got it all, yeah. But obviously, he's lacking one thing, and that's championship experience. It's different going in there against a championship fighter and like the run the mill sort of fighter. Do you know what I mean? It's totally different. Is like the first fight they had against undefeated fighter in Myron Mills. That was a 10 rounder, and I went to places in that fight I'd never thought was possible.
Mm,
Um, so I think it's going to be a big gulp in class in that aspect.
definitely. I'm not putting words in your mouth or anything, Gavin, and I'd never try and do that. But would you say kind of he would you say he should have had kind of a more of an acid test before he fought you next, or do you think he's done the right thing? Would you think he should have had a 10 rounder between his last fight and you?
Um, I don't know. We'll find out on the 30th, won't we? But going off experience, I, like I beat a couple of well, every major title I've won has been against undefeated fighter. Sean McComb was undefeated. Luke Willis was undefeated for the British title. for the European title and Marseille. So they're all undefeated fighters. So it makes no difference to me whether he's 6-0 or he's 20-0. It's just a fight. Do you know what I mean? And that's I'm not looking into anything. He could have had, do you know, he had a big amateur career, didn't he? And he's in a camp with a world champion. So I know he's got a lot of experience in that aspect as well.
Definitely, mate, as well. And it's such an interesting fight on November 30th, I thought. And it's really captured kind of the boxing fans' imagination as well. I mean, when there's a fight that you're involved with doesn't, Gav?
Yeah, it's mad. Obviously, probably because of the way I fight as well.
Hmm.
So they are thinking like I've seen a lot of comments or Ben Whittaker and Cameron like that is going to go that sort of way. Um, but to be honest, I'm just going to turn up and do what I do, and I'm sure I'll come away with the victory. Like,
Definitely, definitely. And I do want to kind of circle it back to obviously teaming up with Gary Lockett now.
yeah.
Obviously in the gym, you mentioned the young lads in there. We'll talk about them in a minute. But what does kind of Gary Lockett do differently to maybe coaches that you've been with before? What is Gary kind of installing in your game?
Just patience more than anything. Patience because I'm just as soon as I jump in sparring, I just want to get on their chest and work away. Like I can do that all day, not long. Like, and he's trying to tell me, "Whoa, whoa, calm down." Like he's pulling me back all the time. Like the other day, we done like 8 rounds sparring, and he was like, "That's enough," and I was like, "No, I'm right. I'll do more." He was like, "No, you don't need to do more." Do you know what I mean? You're fit enough now. You could fight tomorrow. It's not. It's learning. Do you know what I mean? We're learning all every time, and even on the bags and the pads, he's constantly telling me what shots to throw and if I'm doing something wrong. He's just everything I was doing wrong. He's trying to get everything right,
Hmm.
which is good. And obviously, I got that spark back, and it's every every time I go into the gym, I'm smiling on the way to the gym. I'm happy. I'm coming home happy, which is a good feeling when you're in a good place mentally. I think that's 99% um, of a boxer's, I don't know, armor. As long as you're right up there,
Hmm.
you're right everywhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, mate, and it shows with a lot of trainers are now installing these kind of mindset coaches into their groups as well. It's so important. You
Yeah,
mentioned that as well. I do want to mention the young lads in there. I've written them down, so and please say any that I've missed out. But you've got Kieran Jones, Ben
yeah,
Crocker, Kane Shepherd, JD Cuervo as well. Is there
yeah.
anyone else I've missed?
Reese Edwards,
Reese Edwards as well. I
Reese
mean,
Edwards. Yeah,
a lot of these younger guys, Gav, like you said, you're kind of being the Lee Selby role that you had. But I mean,
yeah, yeah.
are these mixing it with these guys in and around your weight? I'm sure they're keeping you on your toes as well.
Yeah, and that's it, and all of them. Do you know what? All of them want out of boxing what I want out of boxing, and they all giving 100% every time they come to the gym, and we're all pushing each other, and it's brilliant because if you're in a gym where they just there because they gotta be there sort of thing. Someone's pushing them to go to the gym. They're not putting in the work in. Whereas these guys, they want to put the work in. So you got to up your game.
Mm.
So when you were up the you were game, they're up in their game, and you just go from level to level. And yeah, just giving them little bits of advice and things like that. And I know how hard it is when you first turn professional. It's a daunting place when you got to sell tickets and making weight and training. And I'm just talking them through there and giving them small pointers and things like that. And they're all top lads, every single one of them. And it's keeping me on my toes if I'm quite honest.
Definitely, mate. As well, I have to mention Ben Crocker. I was at the top tier
Yeah,
media day. Obviously, he
yeah,
fights a week after yourself in his
yeah,
rematch for the IBF European title against Stelios Papadopoulos. I mean, two questions. One, I bet it's nice to kind of complete camps together, and also
yeah.
fully expecting Ben to do the business on December the 7th.
Yeah, 100%. He's firing on all cylinders. Like I seen the interview. Like he was saying, like we've had brilliant sparring sessions, and I brought him on, and but he's brought me on as well because his ring IQ is second to none, and his shot selection and everything else, and he punches very hard. So I got to stay switched on with him, and it's giving me that. It's make sure, and I got that patience when I'm going in there. So it's been really good, and we both pushing each other, which is brilliant. And he's fighting obviously a week after me. I got my last sparring session with Ben, another boy, Lewis Parfitt, on Thursday. So that's going to be a good spar, probably. It always is when I'm involved, but yeah, it's good. It's good to push these boys, and just goes to show them how hard it is in these championship fights because it is hard. When you get to a certain level, no fight is easy. Like obviously, the first couple of fights you have, you're just going through the motions and learning on the job. But after that, when you get stepped up against a decent opponent, then it's a different kettle of fish. Like, yeah,
Definitely, and I think you're one of the fighters who's proved that, Gavin, right?
yeah,
You fought Joe Cordina when Joe Cordina was young, hungry for the British title. Then
yeah,
Then Tennyson, who was coming off that world title loss, but and then
yeah,
you still went on to win what you did. I mean, we've spoken
yeah,
about it before, but
yeah.
it's some great memories that you've made in the sport, Gav.
Oh, 100%. Like memories that will last a lifetime. Like my boy got his belt, well, my belts, but there is belts downstairs in the cabinet. Got four belts there now, and honest to God, hand on heart, I never thought I would ever win all the belts that I did. I never in a million years. I was just happy to win the British title, winning the Commonwealth title, and then winning the European title. It's just a dream, but. I still got ambitions in the sport. I'm not just turning up for paychecks. I'm turning up for a win. Like I just love to fight. If they said I could fight forever, I would. But obviously my wife wouldn't be happy with that. But um, I just love fighting. Yeah.
Definitely, and can I say, Gavin, it shows, and it's why everyone likes watching you fight as well. I mean,
Thank you.
Gavin, no worries. I mean, Gavin, we've breezed through my questions, mate. Any final words for, I mean, the Merthyr crowd flocking to Birmingham on November the 30th, mate?
Yeah, I just want to thank each and every one of them. All obviously supporting me coming up. Is close to Christmas as well, and times hard at the minute. And I just want to thank them all just for coming up and supporting me. Obviously, all my sponsors for supporting me as well through camp and through the hard times where I didn't have no fight news and everything else. But just want to thank everyone, and obviously I want to thank my wife and my boy as well for being there constantly. Because it's not easy living with professional boxer, especially the way I am in camp. I just live like a monk, and everything else comes second. Boxing is number one, and everything's put to the back burner. So, like my missus said the other night, she said, "Can't even like think about Christmas because you got your fight." It's like everything's just on my fight. There's no talk about anything else. It's just my fight. And no Christmas, no. There was my grandpa's party last Friday, his 80th birthday party, and I had to miss that because I don't want to be. I want to be in that right mind frame. I want to be switched on 100% all the time. And yeah, all these sacrifices and determination and things like that, I think it's going to be a big thing come fight night as well.
They definitely will, and I'm for sure I'm the one. I'm looking forward to it as well, Gav. But again, thank you very much. The Merthyr Mexican, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much,
Thank
Gavin.
you.
See you in Birmingham, November the 30th.
Thank, thank you.